Welcome to the first episode of Tomato Hour. I'm your host, Vivek. Joining with me today is Vishesh Raj and John Jordan.
What's up?
So the whole idea behind Tomato Hour is that we will go on Netflix and we'll use the Netflix shuffle and it will just pick a random movie or show for us, and then we'll have to watch the full thing, react to it, and at the end we'll guess the Rotten Tomato score. And then whoever is closest, we win. We have bragging rights, I guess. So we've already shuffled ahead of time, and we actually got Naruto, which I'm happy about. It's been a while since I've seen the first episode, so I guess let's get into it.
All right, here we go.
You up?
3, 2, 1, go. Oh yeah, it gets right into it.
12 years ago, a nine-tailed fox suddenly appeared. Its tails lashed out,
Ooh.
smashing mountains and sending tidal waves crashing to the shores.
You know, if this is
This
the first time ever seeing Naruto, like never heard anything about it, this is a lot. This is just a lot of stuff to take in.
Honestly.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's at least giving you a chance to understand that this is going to be very lore heavy.
Oh, this music.
This
Oh yeah,
cheese-
the original. Here we go. I have to say, Naruto's very nostalgic for me. Like, it brings me back to a very happy time. Like, I remember when it was first playing on Cartoon Network and being excited to watch it every week, and even going to the library and then checking out the mangas for it. Like, so here's a little fun fact for you guys. Apparently, Naruto was given the headband because the artist said that the goggles were too difficult to draw every episode.
Wow. So
Wow.
they just gave it to him quicker than he was supposed to.
Yeah. The belief is that he perhaps wasn't going to wear his headband on his head, like a lot of the characters don't wear their headbands on their heads. And he was just gonna have it, but they were like, "Oh, these goggles are kind of a little difficult."
Oh really? Goggles.
You're not going home
I
till
guess
you've
so.
cleaned
I don't
off
think it's that
every
much for it
single
to
drop
draw,
of paint.
but okay.
Are they foreshadowing the swing already? Like damn.
Waiting at home for me. A secret.
Oh yeah,
Why is it so epic?
it's Naruto.
I will say,
That's what I loved about it.
this is a very lame first episode.
who grew up just like
Like,
Naruto.
even thinking of how it's gonna progress, like, there's nothing too exciting about this that would have made me go, "Yeah, I want to keep watching."
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't see my first experience with Naruto wasn't this episode. I'm glad it was an actual fight.
Look at that looping animation.
He stole the sacred scroll. You mean the scroll of sealing? No!
First one is multi-shadow.
So funny. This scroll literally plays no relevance, despite how important they make it seem in this episode.
He learns one jutsu, and then that becomes his main gimmick for the rest of the series.
That's a specialty, yeah.
And I would have loved, as you said, if they had brought it back,
Yeah,
But
even
oh,
when
no,
there was
shit.
more like villains in the
Yeah.
show, they never resorted to the knowledge inside that scroll.
At once.
Like they never used it.
The sacred scroll, the scroll of sealing. It's
That
like,
was-
oh, the one that's only in episode 1? Yeah,
Yeah.
that one.
Whole life. Didn't you think it was strange how they treated you?
Look how spaced apart his eyes are.
Alive.
It doesn't even look like him.
Yeah. He
Ooh.
lives.
Yeah.
He lives this.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember just being like, damn, what is
Yeah.
this show? My parents can't let me see, or I can't let them see me watching this.
No one seemed to care. How did you know that it was me and not Iruka? Because I'm Iruka.
Whoa.
Why are you
Ah.
protecting Reek?
That was pretty clean.
He's the one that wiped
Huh.
out your family.
I don't know how he knew this was gonna work. But he did.
Naruto.
Whoa!
Those aren't just
Ooh.
illusions. They're solid clones. He's mastered an extremely advanced.
Better pass after that.
What is this?
If you really think about it, he should be better than literally all the other students at that point.
Yeah.
If you're not
Well, it is kind of luck, and it's the only jutsu he can do at this point of the series.
But if he could do that, I'm pretty sure he could beat up any of the other students.
Oh yeah. Well, not Sasuke. I think even at this point in the series, Sasuke would still kick
Sasuke
that.
doesn't even have Sharingan yet.
Yeah, but he doesn't need it, right? Like
carried away.
Naruto's not a good hand-to-hand fighter.
Yeah, but that's a lot of
That's
people.
true. Yeah, that's like 100 people.
Yeah, true.
Wants to
I
surpass.
feel like I give Sasuke some work.
Where the fuck are the other ninjas?
Might do it.
Yeah, there was a whole platoon.
They didn't like. Yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
come. like,
Got
like
something I want
it
to
doesn't
hear
make
the
sense.
fighting?
The third Hokage had that ball, so he knows exactly where
Oh,
he's
yeah.
at.
Yeah.
It's
You
like,
can't
didn't
tell
tell him.
everybody else where they are.
Not a clue.
This is bad news. We've got to smoke him out or something.
Wow.
Exactly. You're telling me.
Yeah.
This is only the beginning. The road gets tougher now that you're a ninja. But if I told you that, I guess it would ruin the moment. So I'll tell you later. Over ramen.
I'll tell you later. Okay.
You barely appear, bro. You ain't telling
Yeah.
nobody.
Yeah, he didn't tell that at all.
All right, so that was the
Gotta
first episode. Would you guys say it was a solid episode?
It's dated. It's
Yeah.
definitely feels its age. When did that
Yeah.
come out? Like, I guess
Oh, one, I
2007
think.
or something.
2007? I don't think it came out in 2007.
Like
I
the
can't
animated
look it up.
dub.
I'll get.
I think it came out way before that.
Pretty sure it came out in 2001.
2002.
2002, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Well, I guess the dub was premiering a lot later than the Japanese version.
Yeah, but the animation would
Yeah.
still be the same. So it's
Yeah, but the
2001
animation is the same as 2002. It feels its age. It's I enjoy it only for nostalgia reasons. But even as a kid, when I first watched it, I actually wasn't huge on the pilot episode. I think
Definitely not
I
a great
stopped.
episode.
I was just like, you know, there's nothing to me that was intriguing necessarily about that because they don't really set anything up beyond. Well, he has this thing inside him, and he's a ninja, but like, there's no real villain or anything, and we don't even really get to see what happens to that one guy. Do they just beat him to a pulp? And
They never did anything with him, actually.
Yeah.
he doesn't come back either in the series, so it's a little weird.
Maybe Naruto accidentally beat him to death.
Nah, he was alive, but
Yeah. I never could just ignored it. You can't take him back to the village.
It's like, oh
His
well.
dead body. Gotta lie.
I do think though that Naruto as a character introduced specifically in this episode is interesting enough. He's just kind of like a kid who's just having fun and kind of like rambunctious. So like you can get some sort of intrigue from that. Like I want to see what this kid accomplishes.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily think he's too original or much
The
different
intrigue
from
is probably
other.
the universe. Like seeing that they could make clones of each other and stuff is probably all that they were trying to captivate you on, maybe. Because other than that, why would you have kept watching?
Some fights.
Yeah, like they show some cool powers, like the clones and the transformations.
Yeah, pretty much.
As the show goes on, obviously we've seen them do like a lot of cool stuff, and the animation like can be really great at times. But it's kind of unfair to judge the show strictly on the pilot. But since this is what Netflix gave us, if I'm just watching the show pilot in isolation, it's very mediocre.
Very great. So after watching this
I know
first
how
episode,
good I know how good the show gets, but yeah, the first episode is. It's funny because I feel like it gets so much better not even too far after this. I feel like it's exclusively just the first few episodes that are like that.
Yeah, I think so too. Wait, would you continue after watching this first episode?
If I were to watch it for the first time today, probably not. To be honest.
Yeah. If I had no knowledge of Naruto and I as an adult had watched that show,
Yeah.
just episode 1, I don't think I would care enough to watch more. But like I do see where some of the appeal is. Like Vishesh mentioned, Seeing the powers was interesting. There's obviously like a universe that the show is trying to create, and I thought that was well done. It opens up with this giant fox thing attacking. I do think though that if we had seen maybe more of the Nine-Tailed Fox early in the series and like that attack on the village instead of it just being 2 sentences of voiceover at the beginning, I feel like that would have been better suited as an intro. Like if we just jump right into, oh my god, like what is all this destruction and chaos happening, and then we saved all of the schoolhouse test and stuff nonsense for episode 2, then I think maybe I would have been able to be more engaged with the series. Like it just kind of goes like, well, this thing happened, now here's this kid failing his tests in school, and
That's what
whatever.
you're saying. I feel like kind of indifferent because as a first episode, it's just like exposition heavy and just introducing you to the world. But part of me is still like, I kind of do want to see more and see where it would go. But also, that's could be probably because I've seen Naruto already as a kid. I know where it's going. So it's hard for me to judge, I think, if this is a good first episode or not. It's definitely like there and introducing the characters, but maybe it's not there as a captivating first episode. And like I'm watching One Piece now, and that's also like a very dated show. But for One Piece, I can see the potential of the show, even though it's extremely dated. It's very 1990, early 2000s. So maybe Naruto is kind of like in the same area in first episode. If you would like watch it now. Back then, if you watched it, you'd probably been like, "Oh wow, this shit's really good. Let me watch the next episode."
Yeah.
What do you
kid,
think
it
of
was
the-
different.
Continue what you're saying.
As a kid, it was different for us, I would say, and it was easier to get into it when it just popped up and you could see different episodes rather than just the pilot and just tune into it. But people don't really do that now. A lot of people do just watch the first episode and they decide right then and there if they want to watch it and anymore. So it's definitely
it's way different when it's on TV because, like, as you said, you can just kind of click to it. It can disappear. Oftentimes you're only watching it because you want to watch what's next. And as a little kid, you kind of just put up with a lot of like mediocre shows. Like there's some shows that I would watch, not because I enjoyed them, but because it was in between 2 shows that I really liked, like just basic programming stuff. I do think though, that the show doesn't do a good job with the supporting characters, especially because I know the trajectory of them. They spend so much time with Aruka Sensei and Sephiroth, whatever his character's name is.
Mizuka.
And he has no function within the rest of the series. Same for like Aruka, he ends up popping here and there, like showing up to be like just a quick like refresher of nostalgia, like remember when we used to get Naruto or ramen all the time, Naruto? Like this kind of what his job becomes later in the series. But like I think for them to have focused so heavily on this Sephiroth guy and Izuka, is it Iruka or Izuka? Iruka Sensei. It just feels like uneven. Like I really do want some sort of villain introduced in like the first episode or the primary antagonist, but we don't even get like a hint of that at all. Like I thought that was going to be the third Hokage because of just how he looked.
Do you think this episode could have been a side episode, like a filler episode later in the season, and something else could have taken this place, like this episode's place?
That's
Probably.
a good question.
It could have been done completely different. They just needed to take the exposition from this episode and put it somewhere else.
Yeah, just like a filler episode, probably between like 2 fights or something, 2 arcs.
I can see that. So here's an example: Teen Titans, right? So the first episode of Teen Titans jumps right into the action. It just shows the team defeating, I don't remember who the villain was, but some electric villain or something like that. And the premise of the episode is just like there's a rift between Robin and Cyborg. Yes, I know I'm on a tangent about a different show, but in that show, in the series Teen Titans, what they do is later on in the show, they do an episode that shows how they all met. And that doesn't come until deep into the show when we've already gotten a sense of who the characters are and kind of like the dynamic of the show itself. I think that, as you said, this could have done something like that where we're already introduced to Naruto and the kids at the school, et cetera, maybe focus heavily on either him at school or heavily on the Nine-Tailed Fox stuff. And then all this other ancillary, like, you and I are friends, and exposition of, well, there's this thing you're not supposed to know about and all that. It just felt like kind of uneven the entire time. Like I didn't know where the show wanted my focus to be. Like what was the most important story. You could say all of it is.
Do you think they could have
but
started more in the middle of things?
I
and
think
then
so.
Went back? Okay.
I don't think the show was so dense where it wouldn't make sense. You know, like it's there are these kids that are underneath a teacher who have to train to get better at being a ninja to rank up. That's kind of what the main premise of Naruto is, at least for the first season. So like we could have started anywhere and been fine.
Yeah, so like it's like this first episode kind of just put a lot of it in there, just to they give you like a whole big dump of stuff.
And
that
it's a
could be spread
lot,
out.
and it's not expanded. It's just like little. It's like, as I said, the beginning is just this little blurb of exposition of this great demon attack, blah blah blah, and then there's this blurb of, well, I'm alone, and then there's this short moment in class where you see the other kids make fun of him, and like it's just all these like small little beats of information, but it doesn't necessarily feel like a cohesive story.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Oh.
But
yeah, that could have all been introduced later, probably. Yeah.
I still did enjoy it. Like when I was watching it, I didn't dislike it, if that makes sense. I was still like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I still laugh at it easily.
Yeah. And like we still enjoyed it, but that could have just been like the reminiscing from when we used to watch it. So
I'm curious what the score is, though.
You guys want to move on to guessing?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it. I'll give it a.
This is for the season, by the way.
Yeah, season one. Yeah, you can't really get episode 1. It would have to be season 1. I give it a 75. I want to give it an 80, but give it a 75.
I'll give it an 82. I feel as if it's like the people who would be reviewing Naruto are probably going to be a lot more positive on it. I don't think a general audience would care much for this. Like I tried getting my girlfriend Lauren to watch this, and she didn't like it. She didn't like it at all. But she did like other shows that I've shown her. So like Avatar, she was much more interested in that, and that's, you know, an animated show like this. My Hero was one where she became really big fan. Same with like Sword Art. Some of the more modern animes, like it didn't feel like it was as much of a chore for her to watch. This I can definitely tell she was just kind of grating her teeth as like it played.
That's messed up. Those shows are just basically the new Naruto's.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I feel that those shows took Naruto's format and just kind of did it better. Like not to say that it's as good or bad, but like in terms of, hey, this is what we have to show you, this kid overcoming odds to become great in a school setting or whatever. Like this was what they did, and I think they did it in a more palatable way.
Yeah. For my score, I'll give it an 80. I think the first episode isn't a very good marker for the rest of the season. I'm going with 80 just based on what I remember for the season when I watched it as a kid. So I guess ready to reveal what it is. Yeah, the score for season 1 is an 82.
Hey, I was exact.
Wow.
Let's go.
Wow, that's
Can you get that from me right here?
an 80.
Thank you.
And it's so like specific.
Damn, bro. I was gonna guess 82.
I literally was just like, it's good, but it's not great. And if you're reviewing the show, then you know what Naruto, like they're not going to just send, you know, what's his face from the New York Times to watch an episode of Naruto and watch the whole season. You know, it's going to be like people who review anime or people who are into this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just season 1 of a show that's very popular.
Yeah, because there's no critics rated the show. It's all audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can all use the audience score.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a critic sitting down to watch Naruto.
Yeah.
I feel like they would be like, "What is all this
already
nonsense?"
too.
Like this is a waste of my time.
Literally.
It's probably just like the most hated critic. Like whoever hates him, he just sent to go review Naruto.
Like, hey, there's this thing called Naruto.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even pronounce it right. It'd be like Naruto. It's like this Naruto show. You can go check it out. It's like Dragon Ball Z. It's not
Naruto.
See? Naruto.
Naruto.
Have you heard of it?
Naruto.
Yeah, I pronounced it
Dragon
awfully.
Ball came out
Uses
first.
Dragon Ball Z and Naruto, which is always a thing. It's like just because they have spiky hair and they yell a lot, they're not very similar until Shippuden, where I think it does become kind of more similar. But
She's so disrespectful.
but I am proud of my 82 guess. I do think I will continue watching this again. So I've watched the series, I believe, twice, probably just part one, and I wouldn't hate watching it again. It's just something very nostalgic about the show that still attracts me to it.
Yeah, you rewatch it every now and then, every couple of years.
Yeah, just out of nostalgia. I can't imagine somebody just picking this up, just randomly. No. All right, so I guess we can wrap it up here. I guess Drawn is the winner of the first episode.
What did you guess?
I guess an 80. I thought 80. I thought 80.
Damn.
I thought 80 was a good solid score, like a good even marker for this first season.
Yeah, it honestly is.
Yeah.
I just added extra 2 points. I Price is Right to you.
Yeah, he got the super precise guess for the winner. Okay, and then I guess we can wrap up here. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe and give it a like, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye, guys. Thank you.